Have you ever noticed that many entrepreneurs aren't struggling because they lack ideas? They're struggling because they have too many. One day, they're building a SaaS product. The next day, they're learning AI. Then they're launching an e-commerce store, starting a YouTube channel, or becoming a consultant. The problem isn't a lack of opportunity. The problem is a lack of focus. Every time you start something new before finishing what you already started, you're resetting your progress. You go back to zero. And that's what keeps so many entrepreneurs stuck. They think they're moving forward because they're constantly starting, but they're actually restarting. Most people confuse movement with progress. They feel productive because they're always busy. But being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're getting closer to your goals. They're watching videos, buying courses, creating new plans, and talking about the next big opportunity. They stay busy all day, but at the end of the day, nothing meaningful is actually finished. Real progress comes from staying with one thing long enough to see results. You have to give an idea enough time to work before deciding it doesn't work. Think about planting a seed. If you plant it today, then dig it up tomorrow to check if it's growing, it will never become a tree. Business works the same way. You have to give it time to grow. And this is where it gets dangerous. You can spend months working on different things and still feel like you're making progress. But if none of those things are finished, what do you actually have to show for all that effort? Imagine planting 10 different seeds in 10 different places, but never watering any of them consistently. You might have 10 possibilities, but none of them gets enough attention to actually grow. Business works the same way. Success usually doesn't come from having the best idea. It comes from giving one good idea enough time, attention, and consistent execution to actually produce results. As entrepreneurs, we often chase what looks exciting instead of finishing what actually creates value. We think the next opportunity will solve our problems. But most times, the next opportunity simply becomes another unfinished project. Here's something I've learned. Every unfinished project has a hidden cost. You might think leaving something unfinished is harmless, but every abandoned idea takes something from you that you don't immediately notice. It steals your time. It steals your energy. And eventually, it steals your confidence. Because every time you walk away from something unfinished, you're carrying another unfinished commitment with you. And eventually, it teaches your mind a dangerous habit. Starting is enough. You get comfortable with beginning things because beginning feels exciting. But starting isn't the hard part. Finishing is. Finishing is what builds skills. Finishing is what creates revenue. Finishing is what earns trust. And finishing is what gives you something real that you can improve. Imagine you're building a bridge. Would you stop halfway because another bridge suddenly looks more exciting to build? Of course not. You finish the first one. Then you move to the next. That's exactly how businesses should be built. One completed system is worth more than 10 unfinished ideas. One successful product is worth more than 20 business plans. And one consistent marketing strategy is worth more than chasing every new trend. When I work with founders and business owners, I see the same pattern repeatedly. The businesses that grow aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the most consistent. They keep improving the same process, the same offer, and the same customer experience. Momentum is powerful. At first, progress feels slow. You don't see many results, and you wonder if it's working. But if you keep going, something changes. Your skills improve, your systems get better, and people begin trusting your brand. Your reputation grows. And suddenly, what looked like slow progress becomes something much bigger. That's how momentum works. The small things you consistently do today can eventually create results that look almost impossible from the outside. That's why discipline often beats motivation. Motivation gets you started when you feel excited, but discipline keeps you working when the excitement disappears. And that's where most people give up. So before you chase another business idea, before you buy another course, before you completely change your strategy, ask yourself one simple question. Have I truly finished the opportunity that's already in front of me? Not until it became perfect. Until you've given it enough focused effort to know whether it works. You don't need another idea yet. You need enough consistency to give the idea you already have a real chance. Because success rarely belongs to the person with the most ideas. It belongs to the person who executes one idea exceptionally well. Ideas are everywhere. Execution is rare. Focus is rare. Finishing is rare. And because they're rare, they're valuable. So don't underestimate the power of simply staying with something long enough to become really good at it. Choose one goal, commit to it, improve it every day. Finish what you started. Then, and only then, start something new. Give your current opportunity a real chance before you move on. Remember this, businesses aren't built by people who start everything. They're built by people who finish what matters. So stop chasing every new opportunity, finish the one in front of you, and let consistency turn your effort into something valuable.